Sure.
Let's talk about some. We covered the first two principles of the gym. Let's talk about the other three. What's the third one?
Coaching.
Coaching. You're really focused on, no sensei or dai sifu or all that. It's everyone's first name, and there's no ranking either. It's just athletes. Could you expound upon that a little bit?
It's difficult for people that haven't done martial arts before to understand sometimes the reasoning why that's so important. But the vast majority of martial arts that I see, specifically Asian martial arts, very much like cults, and not in a healthy way. Okay, and in order to have a cult, you have to basically have three things. The first thing you have to have is you have to claim your knowledge from a higher source. So from God or from a master. Like in martial arts, there's always some supposedly 85-year-old guy that taught you this stuff, that was invincible. A higher source. And that source is infallible. So he's not subject to questioning. Okay, he's a sacred cow. And usually a smart cult leader won't make himself that source because that's too easy to figure out that he's not infallible. So he always had some guy that you never met that he learned from. And then he can also claim a little false humility because they'll always say, well, I'm just the conduit. And then religion's the same way. The preachers say, oh, I'm just the conduit for God. But God, or whatever he thinks God said, is not questionable. Okay, but he's just the conduit. So that way you still play on that false humility, but you've got that unquestioning source of knowledge. Then you've got to have some ritual. The ritual keeps people occupied so they're not thinking about the fact that they're getting led astray. And it makes everybody get on the same page and do the same kind of thing. In martial arts, you see that all the time with forms and everybody lining up, very militaristic training methods. Keeps people busy. They don't ever realize what they're learning doesn't work. And then the third is just terminology. Get everybody speaking the same way, using the same terms. And us and them, truth and falsehood, world and whatever. And it's organized religion, cults, and martial arts in a lot of ways are the same thing. So when I put together the gym and I say, well, I want to get away from all that and I want to free people up from that and I just want to let people experience it and reach their own level of performance on their own without that,